Welcome to Monthly Money, where we take a look at someone's past month's spending and the income that's coming in and see how that all comes together to meet the financial goals they're trying to achieve or get over the financial barriers that are in front of them right now. Today, we're meeting with Andre. Andre, where are you based out of and how old are you?
I'm currently based out of New York City, and I am 29 years old.
What do you do for a living?
I have a few different jobs, but I'm primarily working in the nonprofit space as a grant accountant.
What do you bring in a year with that?
Through that job, all in about 120 or so. Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot. Now what? You don't have to give like specifics, but like what part of New York City? Like what borough?
I'm in Manhattan.
Whoo, that's where you live. That's expensive, isn't it?
Uh, I made smart investments over the years, so I'm able to sustain myself.
Okay.
A lot of sacrificing and smart investments.
So, what are some of the financial goals that you're trying to achieve, and what are some of the financial barriers that are standing between you and those goals?
I would say there are currently no barriers in between me and my goals. I already see it, I believe it, and I'm taking the steps to achieve it. The financial goal that I'm working towards right now is my ultimate goal is to hit that $10 million mark. I'm working towards the 3 to 5 million and see what the lifestyle looks like at that point. I don't I don't want to get caught up in moving the goalposts back all the time. So I think I'll assess when I get to that $3 to 5 million mark, ensure that the quality of life is good at that point. And if feel as if I need more or just in a position where I can continue to make smart investments and things just organically grow to that 10 million and beyond, then that will be great. But I don't want to get caught in the rat race or the life cycle of just chasing dollars, chasing dollars, chasing dollars.
Those are some ambitious goals, which I definitely appreciate. But what's your net worth today? Because looking across everything, I'm seeing it probably what 150,000.
100. I don't think that's correct.
What do you think it is?
It's definitely more. I know I have about 100. Well, the markets went down. I know I have about 47 or 48 in a Roth. I've got about another, so you can recall that, yeah, another 47, 48, almost 50,000 in the traditional. I have a 401k, started a new job in March, and that has about, I think yesterday I looked, and that's almost 14 to 15,000. In the regular brokerage, that's about 47k. And then I have Acorns. That's uh, I think the Acorns is maybe about 15 as well. And then I have another brokerage account. I don't want to necessarily say the name, but that one has about another 100 or so in there.
Oh, okay. So a couple of them I'm missing for that full outlook, but that's okay. Just based on what we requested and stuff. But that makes sense. So 275.
Yeah. And then yeah, so those are just like the investments. And then I sent over another account, I think like last night or so. So maybe it's not in the folder. I think that one has about 100 and change in it.
And what's that in cash?
The regular savings account.
Why are you holding 100?
Just gotta have cash on hand. Might make a purchase. My brother has a trucking company in Atlanta, so just trying to make some moves right now. I know a lot of people are freaking out because interest rates are high, but I think now is a pretty good time. Just coming with the contrarian approach. With the rates going high, I'm getting notifications from Zillow, price drop, price cut, price cut. So that's less money, right? You think a year ago when interest rates were low, people were paying $30,000 over. So that was more money they had to come to the table with out of pocket. Now, this is less money you have to come to the table with because the price of the home is lower. Yeah, you may have higher monthly income. I mean, higher monthly expense, but I'm hoping that maybe interest rates will lower. And once they lower, then I can refinance into that lower rate. So it's all about trying to keep as much dollars in my pocket today than paying it out. So I'd rather take the lower home purchase, higher interest rate, and then refinance 2 to 3 years down the line or so.
Or is that 100,000 at least in a high yield?
Yeah, I think it is. It is. I don't think it's necessarily the highest one. I know I have a CIBC that's given like 2.32%.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I think this one may be given maybe about, I'm not sure what the current rate is. But I think I am in that higher tier because of I'm over that dollar threshold.
So how many properties do you own?
Currently right now, I have three. Yeah.
What's your equity in these?
So I have one home. I've got the first home that I purchased. That's about 120,000. There's another home that I bought back in 2017 in a developing neighborhood. I purchased that straight cash. That was 30,000, and now that home's worth about 120. Some of the homes that have been redone fully, those are about going for about 150 to 180 in that neighborhood. And then I bought another property, and that one I bought in 2019, and the equity on that is probably about I think I owe about 460, and then I think about 520. So, and that one I only put down very little, 3%. So I know you won't be too happy with that one.
Well, I mean, there's probably not much I can help with here. So, like, I guess what is in your roadmap to achieve these multi-million dollar goals that you were talking about?
What's in the roadmap? The roadmap for me, I don't know, along to necessarily achieve it. I don't know. I think there's data out there. It's just like once you have a certain dollar amount right now, that's when you can really take your foot off the gas and just let things, just let time do the work to hit those numbers. I'm not sure. So I think it'll happen regardless if I work to it or not. But I think in the meanwhile, it's just a challenge that I'm having is how do I manage living for today? Because sometimes I find it hard to just like spend, and I don't want to be an older person, and I've been saving for all these years and I don't know how to spend.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do I enjoy the journey and ensure that I'm balancing?
All right. Well, looking through your credit card, you did some Airbnb twice, things like McDonald's as well, a few times. You definitely are going out to eat. You're traveling, so there's some JetBlue, Delta.
Yeah, I know everybody says this. It wasn't a normal month. So that was when I came out to Austin and I went to see my younger brother. He's stationed out in Texas, Kaleem. So we went to see him for his birthday.
Okay.
So that's what those purchases are.
And you don't do much spending in your checking account. You're just transferring things, right?
Yeah, I think most of the transactions really are occurring on the credit card.
So you don't spend much money. I mean, definitely if we assume that you're not traveling like that once a month, every single month. So,
Puerto Rico. I was in Puerto Rico last week. I actually was stuck in the hurricane and I had to pay for an extra night. So,
oh wow, wow, that's wild. What's the percentage of your income? Would you say post taxes, post contributions? Just what's your percentage that you are? No, actually, well, post tax, just post tax. What percentage are you spending on living life?
Post-tax living life. Well, I really enjoy going to the gym. So, but I don't know, that's so small because I go to Planet Fitness. So literally the cheapest option. I do have the black card, so that's a little splurge, but it's only $20. Um, on Sundays, I don't know the dollar amount percent.
Tell me what you enjoy doing for fun, that just in general, whether or not you're doing it right now, just tell me the activities that you enjoy doing.
I enjoy just working out, going to the gym, going for runs. I'm into the performing arts, so I did go to a few events this past summer. Went to Lincoln Center, saw some ballet performances, went to a play in the theater district as well. I went to a few concerts. I took my nephew to see Kid Cudi at the Barclays recently. Um, just and just quality time with the friends, family. I My sister, she's 17 and she's pursuing to become a pilot. So I did. It's not, you didn't see it, but it's a recent, in this past state month that ended. I wrote a check to help fund her flight lessons. So that was about $3,000. So, I just really like looking. I'm trying to pay it forward, you know. So that's where I find just a lot of value and just quality time with friends and family. So I like lived upstate. I'm in the city now, so my core friend group are located in upstate New York. So I don't really have many people to hang out with and do things with. So that's why I really find myself just working. Weekends come, I do my part-time job, and that's about another you know, 20 to $30,000 a year that I make on that job. And then I don't really have anywhere to go. So sometimes I'll just even take vacation time from my primary job and pick up some shifts at the at the part-time job.
What's your part-time job?
Uh, I work with a DSP, so it's like a contractor through Amazon to make deliveries.
Well, so have you thought about joining in any social groups? You say you enjoy the performing arts. Are there things that you do in the performing arts?
No, no, no. I just have an appreciation for the arts. So that's it. But I recently started looking for churches to attend, and just trying to get more involved, right? Because I'm just trying to enjoy my youth as well. And then just also trying to date, just trying to get myself out there, go on some dates, and that's another big thing that like I don't have anyone to do anything with. So I finished grad school in August, last August. So now that I have the time, I really want to put myself out there and just like try to find someone to date and go on dates with, have a good time. And you actually had someone on here a couple episodes ago, Demi, and she really caught my attention. I know she said she would be working in New York. I don't know if she'll watch this or see this episode, but I would love to get in contact with her and possibly just grab a cup of coffee or so. You know.
All right. If if she decides to reach out, I will let you know and connect. Oh well, you also have your Instagram tag there, so.
Yeah, I did happen to, yeah. So it's there.
So, of these activities that you mentioned enjoying doing, are you currently choosing not to do any of them for either the sake of not spending money or the sake of making more money instead of doing them?
No. So no, the way.
So it's mostly the friend group and the lack of a partner to do these things.
Exactly. Yes, 100%. So I have one cousin who's nearby, and whenever he's available, we'll get together. We'll go brunching on a Sunday. Have no problem taking off. I'll go brunching with him. We went to the Ugly Duckling downtown, or if my younger sister wants to go on a flying lesson, I'll take off and I'll go out to Long Island with her, and we'll go up in the air and go for a beautiful ride around like near Manhattan and just like watch the sunset as well. So just anything quality time, like time is so limited. People pass every day and you just never know. So I want to make sure I'm enjoying myself and enjoying the quality time with loved ones.
Yeah, that makes sense. You mentioned the church thing. I know a lot of people can get community through that. So, but there's also just there's for any major city, and if New York, that's certainly a major city, if not the major city in the country. Every single one has these online, essentially, uh, community groups within different passions and different hobbies where people meet up like multiple times a week to do things. So maybe a running group or a
Part of a running group as well, but that was before the pandemic. And then I don't know, just with the pandemic hitting, I just kind of fell out of it. I guess I just need to put myself back out there and just find a new one. I was actually part of like yeah, I was part of a group. I need to just get back in the groove of things.
sure.
Yeah, it's hard. I don't know. I find it hard to just sometimes I find it hard to just like leave and go outside after work. At least when I was working in the office, I had to make the commute. I had the energy. And then now it's just so easy to close the computer and then just relax in the bed, especially when I'm working out at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning. I just want to relax and enjoy my evening now.
I'm actually kind of the similar way, except without the working out, unfortunately. Would you consider yourself to be a more introverted person?
Am I? No, I'm an extrovert, 100%.
Hit the bars, right? I mean, I don't know the dating scene in New York, but like if not relying on the apps, which I mean, those are also fine, not always pleasant, but why not just go out? And then obviously that's an excuse to spend more money and then, try to meet people that way. I'll be honest, I'm an introvert. So the advice on this part of it is certainly not something I am good at. But the groups are really good. I know that. And then obviously just going out in general helps if you're good with those scenes or if you enjoy those scenes, I mean. But it is a pretty well known thing in general that people among our generations, easy to make friends throughout grade school, easy to make friends throughout college. And then usually where you move somewhere out of state, post college, like, yeah, you make some acquaintance, some, kind of friends at work, but it's harder in the online world to make friends in the adult world now for our generation. And that's a pretty well known thing. And there's a lot of social isolation in our generation. So, you live in such a walkable city, Lucky, that I don't know, joining those communities, going to the bars, going to shows, making moves, yeah.
And I'm definitely making a concerted effort to just make it happen. And if I'm on the train, I'm not afraid to just I'm like Steph Curry from the three. I just shoot my shot, So
what's going wrong? Are you ugly or something?
no, look at me. And I think I'm a handsome guy. It just takes time. It just takes time, and a lot of it is just timing. On different people on different ends of the spectrum, my end, their end. But it's just something I recently got more focused on, just really putting myself out there. I finally feel as if I'm at a point where I have things together with school being over, having a high paying job, having the cash reserve as well. I really want to put myself out there, and I just also want to give my time back to others. And a big reason why I wanted to get on your show, and I know that there probably there isn't really much to like break down and dissect and yell about, but I just wanted to show like a different side. I feel as if there aren't many Black men, young Black men that are out there that are achieving the things that I'm achieving. And I just wanted to be an example that it can happen, that you can do it. And there's so many different ways to have a lifestyle, have an income. I know a lot of people say, oh, nonprofit doesn't pay that much. There's a lot of flack that's associated with it, but I've been in nonprofit for 7 years. I'm under 30. I'm making over six figures. So it can be done, and just whoever finds this video, your channel randomly, that they can find some inspiration and see someone like them who's who's doing it, and it's also somewhat having a balanced life, between working out and making money and doing well for themselves.
Well, speaking of your success, if we look from when you graduated high school about a decade ago to now, what did you do to achieve the $250,000 net worth, just over, and kind of living the dream?
What did I do? So I started early. I started early when I moved upstate. I lived with my aunt and uncle, and they were doing pretty well. My aunt, she was a manager or something of that level at a big accounting firm, one of the big fours. My uncle was a sergeant with the NYPD. They didn't have any children, so that was a household earning well over six figures in upstate New York, where the cost of living is less. So I just saw that my competition, the kids out there, they weren't hungry. They really weren't pushing. So I got the lawnmower, I got the snowblower, I went to Sam's Club. I was selling candy, I was selling sneakers, selling clothes, anything that I could do to make a buck. And I was just always saving. I had $300, $333. And my uncle said, you can't just have money laying around like this. I went to HSBC, and that's when it just all started. And it felt good to just see those dollars adding up. Um, and then I was practicing like a house hacking from that young age. And I would go, if I wanted the sneakers, I'd try to get two pairs, keep one for myself, and then sell the other one and make a little profit on it. So I was practicing these fundamental principles without even knowing them. And then my mother also worked in the accounting field as well. And I remember she got me this chart, and it had like a penny, and it kind of taught, that was my first lesson about compound interest. So I just knew that I needed to, it's like, save my dollars and start to have it grow. The only thing that she didn't teach me is how to invest and where to go to invest. She told me the principles, but I didn't learn that until later on in life. Uh, but luckily, I joined a finance club, and that's where I learned about the investing and the IRAs and opening up, and then just working. So I started working at the grocery store, ShopRite supermarket at 17. I worked there 17, 18, and I worked there all throughout uh, college. And then I went to retail, did that. And then I traveled to Japan, got stuck out in a storm there, and they were not considerate, and it was just a horrible environment once I got back. And then I was complaining to my aunt, and then she told me to send her my resume, and no questions asked, sent her my resume, and she was able to line me up with a job with my first nonprofit grant accounting position. And things just happened organically, where I just met people, they asked me to send the resume, and I just moved into higher and higher um, positions, and just always just staying focused. The first property that I purchased was my mother's friend's daughter's home, who was going through some financial struggles and had to leave or wanted to leave America to go to back to Jamaica. So she sold that house to me just like quickly for lower than what the market was. So that was a good deal. And then just lived in it for a little bit, and then just rented out quickly and moved back home with my parents, and just let that build equity and pay down, and cash flow a couple $100, and then just make payments on it as well. Um, and then just staying focused. And there's so many opportunities in New York City to make money, between just redeeming bottles as well. That's something I do. I recycle my bottles for extra dollars. I was walking dogs with WAG. I think they were purchased by Rover, but sometimes I would stay in the office until about I don't know, 11, 12 in my prior company, to just get all the dog walks I could in Manhattan. I wouldn't leave Manhattan during the weekday until maybe 11:30. Sometimes on Fridays, I would stay in Manhattan until 1 a.m., 2 a.m., trying to get a dog walk in and do the best I could to get all the tips. So just all of those factors um, to increase my income, even when I wasn't making much money, and then working at Best Buy during the Black Friday and holiday seasons. So just really staying focused and grinding.
Very nice. Yeah. I mean, that's the way to do it. Sounds like you've had lots of good connections along the way, lots of good family support. And then when you've gotten in the positions that you got to, you just worked your butt off. So, I mean, with your situation, a few thoughts on my end. One, based on what you just said, you're not making any money returning those bottles. You're just recouping the money that was already taxed, to be very clear, because that was a tax that's put on.
I don't like, I'll pick them up.
Oh, you picked them up. Okay. Well, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
When it comes to your spending, looping back to that, you wanting to be able to not justify more spending, but just be able to spend more. I think a budget is as important for you as someone who is just spending too much money. Budget how much you should spend a month and then make sure you spend every single dollar of that for fun, for things you enjoy. So that's what I would do. That would force you to do it. And then, yeah, just based on the social stuff, maybe some community stuff like you were doing before the pandemic and, just getting out there. But it's very clear that you'll be a millionaire before you know it, then you'll be a multimillionaire. But one thing that did kind of, draw some question marks on my end, you're like, I want to hit 3 million, then I want to hit 10 million or, whatever it was. But then I asked you your roadmap to get there. You didn't have one. So when you have a goal, you need to make sure you have the method to achieve that goal, the roadmap to meet that goal. So those are the only thoughts on my end, but go ahead and give your final thoughts.
Yeah. So, yeah, in regards to the roadmap, just continue my contribution rate, just keep it at that 20% and that's it. So, I think where I am, I'll just stay on the path and just keep doing what I have been doing and just let time be the biggest factor in helping me get to where I need to be in life.
Let Andre know what you think about his financial situation in the comments below. And if you want to be on this show and you have a financial struggle that I could help with, please email me at castingcalebhammer@gmail.com. Shout out to 4 Cups of Coffee supporters: Abdul Martinez, Mark, Josh Bennett, Clayton 006, Tyler Chong, True Smith, Timothy Williams, Sam I Am, Jason Spriggs, Nicholas Daly, Tom L, J Freedom and Hounds. 8 Cups of Coffee supporters making the dream come true: Joseph Strickland, Anthony, an anonymous supporter, and Sam V03. Subscribe and stick around for more. Thanks.